We need a band and we're going to put them around above the kneecaps. Once you've got them around your legs, we're going to lie down with our legs bent, feet a tiny bit wider than the knees, and let your knees just fall in for now. So lean on each other. And just breathe. So your usual Pilates breathing in the nose, out the mouth. Take the long deep breaths. Okay. Just open your knees a tad and start to feel a little bit of resistance in that band. Perhaps you want to take your feet a tiny bit wider so I can feel the edges of my mat. And then we're going to lift our hips up into a bridge. And I want you to open your knees at the top and then roll down. Buttocks brush the floor. We exhale, lift up and open those knees wide. Inhale, lower. So just repeat. You don't come all the way down to a rest. You just roll through the spine. You hit the ground, you roll straight back out. Open the knees at the top. You ease off the knees as you drop down. Let's start to get these bridges a little bit higher. So we lift up, big squeeze up at the top. Open and a roll down. We need 4 more. This is going to be a very big buttock and abdominal workout today. We're incorporating a little bit of arms. Okay, your fourth one, we're going to stay up at the top, open the knees wide. Just give me some little presses out. Let's really start to wake up those outer thighs and buttocks. Squeeze a little bit more and elevate the hips a little bit more. Just give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep those hips up. Last 2. One more. And we roll it out. Just let your bottom rest to the floor. Let your spine rest down. We're going to lift the knees in. And you're going to bring the feet a little bit higher than the knees and close the feet together. So when you look up towards your knees, a little diamond shape. Take your arms a little bit wider. We're going to drop our feet to the front corner of the mat. Pull them back in on the inhale. Gentle rotation to the buttock. Left buttock as you drop to the left. So all you're doing is very slightly rolling through the hips. Tiny movement. Controlling in the obliques. You may find yourself sliding down your mat a little bit, that's fine. We're just warming up the body, so you can take it as long or as short as you wish as you drop the feet down. You may not even want to drop all the way down. But you may feel your shoulder blades just coming off the ground, that's fine, just allow them to for now, as long as you're controlling through the tummy. Open the knees a little bit wider, so you always got that diamond shape in the legs. So we're going to tap corner to corner 6 more times. 4. Great. That's flow going through the body. 2 more times. Don't let those heels drop lower than your knees. And when you've done your last tap, you bring the legs back to center, so those knees are wide. Now lift your heels a tiny bit higher. Bring your fingertips behind your head. We're going to come up into a crunch. We're going to do a little touch over to the opposite knee, all the way back down in the middle, and then crunch over to the other side. So we inhale down, exhale. Still through those legs. Keep those knees open. And then just miss out the coming down in the center. So twist, rotate, twist, and so on. 10 more. 9. Breathe. 8. 7. Open the knees. 6. 5. 4. Reach. 3. 2. One more. And then we open the feet, we pop our feet down, we drop our head down, release the arms out wide to a T. So just allow your spine just to relax. And this time we bring our knees back up. We're not wide in the knees, they're a little bit closer together, not completely touching. You're going to always keep a bit of resistance. And let's just roll through the spine side to side. Give me some rotation. So our lower leg touches the ground, the top leg doesn't. It stays in one place, and we just roll to the other side. Exhale, inhale, exhale. So use this opportunity like a dynamic stretch, grounding down through those shoulders. Try not to let the shoulder blade lift off the ground to get stretch across the front of the chest, front of the shoulders. And we're going to go 6 more times. Keep the legs wide. Three more to go. Now make your last one end up dropping over to the right side. So you might have to do an extra one. And then drop all the way down, lower both knees together to catch hold of that top thigh with your hand and take a little twist across into that left shoulder. And there's a good opportunity to get lovely deep breaths again. Your exhale allows a little bit more reach. 2 more deep breaths here. Now we're going to stay in this position. Release your right hand to the thigh. If at any point your left arm gets uncomfortable here, just slide it a bit closer in towards your body, because we're just going to stay here for a bit. Now we're going to add a little bit of an exercise into this. Our top leg is going to be working. So we're going to lift the leg away from the bottom leg, so it comes up. Kick your leg into full extension. So my thighs stay aligned. Bend it back and pop it back down. So we do an abduction of the thigh, a knee extension, point the toe to bend the knee and pop it back down. That's all we're doing. Just lifting, lengthening on that resistance, bending and dropping down. Just keep the breath going. So you're starting to feel your left buttock kicking in. Work it as much as you can. Everything we're doing, you can do with no band, obviously. Just take it off, still work those legs, just using the body weight of your leg. Heavy enough to make that muscle start to spring. Right, give me 4 more. Then your abs a little bit more so your hips stay stacked. Now, you know how this works. On your last one, let's lengthen away and then point the toe to bend the heel to bottom, extend. Give me 10, 9. Can you lift the leg a little bit higher if you really feel some nasty lactic acid running through? 7. Keep those thighs aligned if you can. 6. Lift it up a little bit higher if you can. 5. My buttocks starting to just stop. 4. Breathe. 3. You've got 2 more to do it. Come on, let's work through it. 1 more. And pop the leg down. Take it a little bit closer in towards you. So let that front knee just drop over that right knee. So that's not for you, just don't do it. Stay stacked. Ooh, it's a bit nasty. Now that underneath leg, push it away. And then I want you to squeeze the abs and lift the knees back up into the middle. Give them a little hug. Little roll around in that lower back. Squeeze the thighs into the chest, really enjoy just releasing off. Now we're going to keep our arms down by our sides this time. We're going to keep our legs at tabletop position. And we're going to push our left leg away, bend it back in, and then our right leg push away. So we're using our left leg as the resistance as we kick our right leg, and then the right leg is the resistance as we push our left leg. This is going to work your abs a little bit more because you're using a little bit more lower abdominals to stop that leg from moving. Option, if you need to go a little bit lighter, do a toe tap. So staying in that 90-degree angle on the legs, just push the thigh away. If it starts to get a little bit too much. Okay, 8 ball. Breathe. 4 more. Put those feet down to the ground. Take a breath. Now we're going to heel toe our feet back wide. The knees going with, our arms are down by our side again. If you want to challenge your back a little bit more, you can take the arms up and overhead and press them behind you, which will make more muscles of the back work. But if you feel it's too much, then just bring your arms back down to support. We're going to lift back up into that bridge again. We're going to hold our bridge up. We're going to do an opening of the knee and then a closing of the knees. So we're going to open wide on the exhale, inhale, close. Squeeze your glutes. We can tuck those tailbones under a little bit more. And then work deeper on that opening and deeper on that squeeze. And we're not letting our buttocks fall down as we open those knees. That's half the battle with this exercise, not letting our hips drop. Give me 6 more. Keep breathing. Going, let's push through those feet a little bit more, lift up through those thighs a little bit more. So I've got 1 more left to do. Open out wide, and let's pump those legs out wide. 10, 9, 8, lift the hips. 5, 4, keep breathing. Last 2, 1 more, and roll it out. Hug those knees in again, take a roll. And take the legs to that 90-degree angle again. Take the knees and feet about as wide as your shoulders. Take your arms back to that T shape. We're going back to those rotations. So the bottom leg drops, the top leg stays up, and then you roll back through the center and over to the inside. I really enjoy this moment. Slower the better. Just feel a little, like a mini massage across the lower back and into the buttock. You drop over to the side. Just let it brush the floor, don't let it drop. 6 more rotations. Turn your head the opposite way to your legs, just to get a little bit more mobilization to your neck. So when you're ready, we're going to drop our legs carefully over to the left. So the left leg drops first, and the right leg goes to join it. The left hand pops on top of that thigh, and we twist and we lower our right shoulder to the floor. And just keep breathing into that stretch. Bit deeper, slide that right arm a little bit further away from you. A couple more breaths here. And you're going to release the left hand from the thigh. You can move your right arm a little bit lower towards your body if you need a little bit of a rest from that stretch. You can adjust your knees slightly if you want to push them away a little bit. And we're going to lift that top leg. Extend the knee, kicking the leg away. Point the toe to bend the knee and lower it back to join the lower leg. So again, you want to try and keep the thighs aligned the whole time if possible. Six more. So remember, when we get to that last repetition, so you should be coming up to your last one. So on your last one, we lift up, we kick forwards, and we press that leg in and out. Trying to keep that knee up as high as it can go. Almost open it out towards the ceiling a little bit more. Kick, 5, 6. Come on, try and get a little bit higher. 7, got 3 more left. Make it to your max. 2 more. Last one. And release it. Drop it down in front of that lower knee, or just let them rest one on top of each other. Try and let the muscle just relax, let it go. Carefully lift the knees back to center, and we once again hug the bit. We'll just take a little roll forwards and back this time. So we're going to take the hands around the thighs. Use a tiny bit of momentum just to start you off. And then I'm going to hug your feet close in towards your thighs and just roll back and up. See if you can hold that. Roll back, coming up. Keep going. All the way back, all the way forward. 4 more. Ooh, okay. Now, on your last one, you can come up to hover. And I want you to lift your body tall. I want you to hold onto your legs and just extend your left leg and stretch your hamstring, holding a hover. But use the arms to lift your spine tall. Try and keep the thighs aligned and flex your feet, toes in, heels away, straighten the knee. And swap it over. Right leg, straighten it up. Now lift your chest. Squeeze back into those shoulder blades. Thank you both. You can stay here and breathe with your shoulders down, lift the chest. If you want more of a challenge, release your arms and hold. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then release down. Slide the bands out. Take a lighter band if you wish, or a harder band. And I want you to take it here. So the band is around your wrist or the top, the bottom part of your hand. Palms are facing in, and I want you to use this opportunity to lift up. So lighter the band, better. Try and open your arms so you feel that stabilization working in the shoulders. We're going to lift our arms up high. So what you want to create is a beautiful straight line running all the way down your back. Beautiful L shape in the body. From here, we scoop the belly in, and as we do so, we sweep our arms around and over to the side, following our hands, lifting all the way back up, lengthen. Exhale, scoop down, curve the spine, twist the other side. Now, you need to keep your legs squeezed together to stop your hips from rolling. So activate those inner thighs, squeeze them in, and then scoop around. So whilst you're holding this band, when you lift your arms up, almost open your arms out to the side. So you're constantly activating those shoulders. So there's never a flimsy band. It's always got a lot of resistance on it. Right. Lovely. Let's do 8 more, 4 more each side. Twist and go that a little bit further every time. Reach and reach. Lovely. Got 4 more. Big reach. Last 2. Give me 1 more to the left. Then come up into the middle. Bring your arms forward. Scoop down. And give me some little pulses. So if your arms are getting tired, drop them lower. That's fine. We want more, lift them higher. Now, squeeze up, drop, squeeze up. And imagine you're crunching every time. Crunching. 8, 7, keep that time under tension. 6, breathe. 4, 3, last 2. We're going to take this into a hamstring stretch. So lift all the way up, lengthen. And then I want you to take your bands, both bands, so both sides of the bands go around your feet. Get hold of them. I'll put my fingers in that loop. Lift up tall. And really pull your shoulder blades together to get that length through the spine. And then exhale, let's stretch the hamstrings by folding down, allowing the spine to flex. Release the shoulders and take a few breaths there. Long deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Further with your breath. Stretch deeper every time. One last breath in. Then we lift back up, straighten that spine, and then release one side of the back. Okay, they're going back around to above the knees, and then we're spinning around onto our hands and knees. Oh. So your hands are under your shoulders, and knees are kind of under your hips. Depends on the resistance of your band. Okay, so we begin with a hamstring curl. So we're going to exhale, squeeze up to the sky, drop it down to a hover and out to the side, and allow some bend in your elbows to allow your knee to come out to the side. If you want to drop your right elbow and do it that way, you can. You might feel that's a little bit more, you get a little bit further with that. So entirely up to you. So drop my hands. And take the breathe. And focus here. When you lift that knee out to the side, what can happen, especially if your hips do not like this, is your foot will lead the way. You want to lift the knee back and up. So lots of bend in that right elbow, or like I said, down here if you prefer. So one up behind, one out to the side. Right, 8 more. So one up behind is 8, one out to the side is 7, and so on. 3, 2, one more out to the side. We come back to the floor, we briefly put our knees down, take a quick breath, and then we lift up behind again, same leg. And we pulse it, of course we pulse it. So really work, right, that little smiley face under your buttock is now smiling even more. So squeeze it, point the toe towards the sky. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, we bring the knee down to a hover. We take it straight out to the side. Look towards that knee and put it up towards your left shoulder. So now you want to drop that right elbow if you haven't done it, do it now. So keep high, swing it forward, pull it in. 8, 7, lift it higher. Come on, right out to the side. 4, 3, 2, one more. And release it down. And sit it back in a child's pose. Take the arms away if you wish. Just relax down. All the pressure out of buttock, all the pressure out of your arms. And one more breath, just sitting back, and then come back up to reset. Drop down to your elbows. Tuck your toes under, and then lift your hips and come up into like a dolphin position. So we're trying to create a triangle through the body. You might want to bend your knees and just feel your bum lifting high to the sky, nice in your chest between your arms, and then pin your heels down to feel the stretch down the back of the calf. And then bend your knees, look forward to a hover, and then push all the way back up, and eye gaze to the toes. Bend your knees, hover, and stretch. So again, this is more like a dynamic stretch. Here, you're doing like a mini plank, and then here, you're lengthening out. Four more of those. Let's see if we can hold that hover. So lower your knees, hover, eye gaze forward, back flat, tummy pulled in tight. Hold it, just 10-second hold here. Thighs should be feeling this. Breathe, 4, 3, 2, drop your knees. Come up onto the hands. Let's just take a little cat stretch just to loosen up the spine. Go in and out of it. So cat cow, chin up, bottom up, shoulders back, and then curve it. Just do that a few times just to loosen up. Last time. And then we're going to bring ourselves back to neutral. So we're going to reset and we're going to hover the right leg this time. So knee just hover off the ground. You lift up one behind, back to hover, one out to the side, bending that left elbow. Or dropping your left elbow to the ground and working them. Which I think I prefer. So the hip square off as you lift behind, and then the hip opens out as you pull the knee up. Foot will follow the knee. Now, 4 more for me, please. Now, when you've done that last one, you bring your knee to a hover. No, you don't. You bring your knee to the floor. Just give it a 5-second breather. Brace the abs. Take a breath in. Make sure you're not sunk into that shoulder. Pull yourself out. Nice flat back. Lift the leg up behind. And let's go to those little tiny pulses. So that smiley face again on that right buttock. Smile it some more. Just squeeze it more. 8, 7. Keep the leg high. 5, 4, 3, 2. We lower to a hover. We go straight out to the side and we do the same out. Come on, as high as you can possibly go. Look towards that knee. Put it in towards your shoulder. Push it back. In, back, in, back. 12, 11. Can you touch your shoulder? 9, 8. Keep it high the whole time. Don't let it sink down towards the floor. 4, 3, 2. Last one. And release it off. And child's pose. Into a little ball if you can. Or just come into a cat stretch if you don't like child's pose. Find what works. Couple more breaths there. And then I want you to take your bands down to your ankles and bring yourself flat down onto your tummy. So put your feet to the ground. Take them so you feel a little bit of resistance on those legs. You're going to relax through the upper body, squeeze the belly, and then just lift your left leg up towards the corner of that mat, back down, and then switch to the other side. So you're kind of keeping it wide, slightly pulling it out to the side. Keep your knee as straight as possible. So you're lengthening. Elongation is more important than how high you lift. So you're reaching and stretching it away, releasing. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, let the feet settle on the ground. Keep the tension running through the legs, but keep them pinned to the floor. We're going to keep our hands where they are, and we're going to raise our upper body off the ground. From there, we're going to reach our arms to the corners of the room. Turn your palms down, and we're going to pull our elbows together, reach away. If you can stay in your hover, amazing. Stay in the hover and then reach away. If you need to quickly rest off by lowering down for a split second, and then you lift back up, that's absolutely fine. So we're just working on those back extensor muscles. You lift the chest with the arms and then you pull back. You lengthen the arms and then you release down, either to a hover or all the way to the floor. So look at this as a lift for 1, squeeze back for 2, extend the arms for 3, lower down for 4. So I'm going to do this resting my arms because my lower back is feeling a little bit delicate today. You want to squeeze your tummy in tight to protect your lower back. Get your chest up as high as you can. So when you've pulled your elbows back in towards you, it gives you that extra squeeze up, that maximum point of tension. So just 5 more of these, please. Last 3. Last 2. And after that last one, You just slide your hands back, lower your forehead down and get them back to that little pillow and give yourself just a little shake through the hips, release off. Now bring the legs a little bit closer in together, point the toes, and then we're going to squeeze the glutes, lift the thighs to a hover. So that's your starting point. We're going to open out to a wide V, bring them back in again, pull them close together. Exhale, open. Obviously, with a band, you can't get them very far. So you're just trying to get that strong resistance. You really feel the activation through the outer thighs. And then squeeze back in. Really make a point of squeezing back in. Open wide, shoulders relaxed. 4 more of these. Come on, let's go. Big V. Also, focus on your weaker side. So if you feel your right side is more dominant, then press open through the left side, vice versa. Okay, last one. Stay open in that wide V. Open, 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 open. Hold it open. Press it, press it, press it. Now lift the thighs up. Come on, work it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Open them wider. And release. Turn your head in one direction and loosen it off through your body. Turn your head the other way. Continue to wriggle through. Alrighty. Bring your hands to the side of your shoulders. Lift up. Go back to that lovely cat-cow stretch. Scooping the belly in, push the floor away. And then release into your chin, into your bottom. Pull your shoulders back. And go again. One more time. Now, earlier on, we did the one where we lifted up here and we dropped back down to a hover. But if you want to do it full plank, we do it full plank. So, on your elbows, lift the knees and come into that lovely stretch. And the feet need to be apart enough so there's a little bit of resistance on that band. So, open them up with the band's gone loose. You can either repeat that exercise where you bend your knees and your eye goes forward, or walk your elbows forward a couple of inches and roll forward into plank and push all the way back. 1. We're doing 10 of these. So when I roll forward, my shoulders are going very slightly over my elbows. I take my eye gaze slightly forward as I rock forward. Use your abs to power your hips up. Take your eye gaze to your toes at the top. You're rolling onto the tips of your toes. You're pushing back onto the balls of your feet down into your heels. So there's lots of rolling through the feet more than anything. And this is lovely strengthening work with your shoulders. Forward for 6. You're going in. Forward for 7. In. 3 more. Make them strong. Make them powerful. 2 more. Last one. And can we hold? So if you're holding a plank, great. Or your knees are hovered. Up to you. 10 seconds. Scooping that tummy in tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower to the floor. Let yourself just sink down. We're going to slide the band off our feet. You're going to pull your left heel in towards your bottom. You're going to take your left hand around and catch the ankle. So you're going to drive the heel down in towards the butt and pull your knees together to get a stretch through the front thigh. If that's not for you, you can roll onto your right side and do it on your right side. If you want to take this a little bit further, you can take your right arm forward, lift up to a hover, Perhaps lift the thigh off the floor, perhaps hover your right leg and come up into an extension. So it's an active stretch. Hold there. But that's optional. You can just be here and use this opportunity to stretch that front thigh with nothing else going on. Wherever you are, breathe. 5, 4, lift if you're here, and then everyone just release it out. Drop down. We're going to set ourselves up on the other side. So first of all, the right heel comes to bottom. You catch around the ankle, drive the heel to bottom to start with. Close the knee, push your hip into the floor. Get a little bit more into that stretch in the thigh. And if you wish, you can straighten your left arm, lift the chest, pull the thigh off the floor. Or you can hover the left leg, you can hover the right arm, and make it an active stretch. Lift that thigh as high as you can go and breathe. Just stay with your thigh stretched down here. 5 more seconds, which is 1 more really big deep breath. And then release it off. We're going to bring our hands under the shoulders, push ourselves up, take it on knees wide. And then push your bottom back into your heels and then lengthen your arms and just take a stretch in child's pose. But I want you to make it active. So reach the fingers forward, like you're crawling through the mat. Get that full stretch down the side of your back and then pin your buttocks back into those heels. Then melt your head and chest down. Walk our hands to the left. So we're taking a side bend, catch hold of your right wrist and just push the arm away as you pull your right hip back. Melt your head and chest as far as it will go. It's a really nice stretch for the lats down the rib cage. Right away over to the other side. So carefully walk back through center, over to the right, catching your left wrist and then lowering everything down, reaching away. Lovely C curve, putting your left hip bone in towards your heel. Head and chest drop. Release, walk back into the middle. Bring your knees onto your hips, roll up, so you're coming up into your knees. And we're going to step our left leg forward. I want you to keep your right knee underneath your right hip and just tilt your pelvis under. So a little tilt and a right arm reach up, look up towards the sky. So squeeze your right butt cheek and it's a light stretch through the front of the hip. Take that right arm around the outside of your left thigh and open out and twist. Just squeeze that left shoulder blade. Bring it back to center. Slide your left foot a little bit further forward and sink it down. So you're leaving your right leg behind, hands inside. Take your left hand onto the thigh and see if you can open that knee and just turn towards it. But keep your right hip sunk down as you possibly can. You can stay here and just breathe. You can tuck your toes and lift that leg and make it into more of an active stretch. Entirely your choice. Try and open that left knee a little bit more, sink it down. Then release it back. Let's take it to a hamstring stretch. Push back, toes to the ground, and we lower our head and chest down to the thigh. A little bit, flex your foot. Get hold of that foot if you can. Might want to use your bands. If you can't, loop it around and hold, and then work deeper into the stretch and try and open out your right shoulder blade if you can. If you work towards that thigh. Straighten that left knee as best you can. Then on your next breath, we release off. Walk your hands back, let your knee bend. And then I want you to slide your right knee in and then lean forward and then push your left heel down into the floor. So I've rested my chest down and I'm just letting my left calf. Now, some of you may not feel this, but you need to be very flexed. And you lean into that thigh and push your left heel down so it gets a stretch. I mean, I love this. I don't know if you're getting it or not. Pure bliss. The stretch. And then from there, the left knee is going to fall to the side. Take that foot out, get to a 90-90, and then stretch into the buttocks. Just lean into that left leg. You can take this leg as much as you can forwards and just sink it down. Or if you prefer to go into child's pose, go into child's pose. Not child's pose, I mean, coming into this position. That left buttock going a bit deeper every time. And that's the word I was looking for. So just hold there for a couple more breaths, and when you're ready, just come up onto your hands, tuck your toes under at the back, or just slide your legs back together, and then roll it up, and we're back to where we were. So our right leg steps forward. Staying with that knee below the hip, just tuck your tailbone under, and then lift your left arm up and take a little front stretch. So the more you tuck under and squeeze that left buttock, the more you'll feel that stretch. In balance. The right leg slides, and then we bring that hand down. We sink our hips forward, leaving our left leg behind. You stay here for a breath or two, and then put your hands onto the thigh, open the knee, and just turn towards it. Oh, I just forgot to do a stretch, just realised. I'll come back to that in a minute. So you can just stay here or make it active, tuck the toes under on that left foot, lift the knee off the ground, and push that right hip away. Your choice. Sure you're breathing into the stretch, going a little bit deeper every time. Now your knees up, drop it down, bring your foot back in, come back up again. Take your left arm around the outside of your right thigh and open out the right arm and look to that right hand. Find your balance and breathe. Enjoy that rotation through the spine. And we bring ourselves back. Hands to the floor, either side of the foot, and this hamstring stretch, slowing the head and chest down, toes stay pointed, soften the spine, and straighten your knee as much as it will go. Roll onto the back of the heel when you're ready, the hands back, catch it with your left hand if you can, and then get a little bit more forceful with that stretch. Long breath. Your hands forward, slide that back knee in, let your knee fall over the ankle, then try and fold yourself down so your hamstrings touch the back of the calf and just lean into that thigh, keeping your right heel on the ground. And get a lovely little localized stretch in the back of the lower calf. Unless you're incredibly flexible, then you might not. Okay, we then allow the right leg to fall to the floor. Slide the foot forward a little bit, take your left knee back, look like a 90-90 on the legs, and then sit forward and stretch the right buttock. You might want to stay here for a few breaths and then transition into pigeon. You might want to stay here the whole time. You might want to go straight into pigeon. Just pick whatever works for you. Make sure you just relax through the shoulders and keep breathing and using your breath to go deeper, pulling your weight into that right buttock. Yourself up, sink down to that right buttock, swing your legs around and come and sit yourself in comfortable. Hands off the knees, lift your chest using your arms. And then curve back, allow yourself to fall slightly. And then roll yourself back, and this time find your neutral spine. Bring your fingertips slightly behind you and lift up. And then we hover the fingers, we stay tall in that spine, we inhale and exhale up to the sky. Bring our hands together, as always, bowing down to our chest. Giving yourselves a big clap or whatever you want to do. Thank you so much.